You've recently come out for defunding NPR. What changed your mind all these months later, and what has been the reaction from the liberal community?
You know, this is a really interesting moment for me because I, for 10 years, worked at NPR, and I have been a booster of NPR. I went out and raised money for NPR. And I'd always say to people, this is an important institution because I think journalism, being a journalist, is essential to our democracy. And I just wanted to maintain every journalistic platform, every newspaper, every radio, newspaper, television outlet possible, and NPR is one of them. But when you hear the lead fundraiser for NPR saying, you know, we'd be better off without government money, when you come to understand that people in Congress, Democrats, think that somehow NPR should be their answer to Rush Limbaugh or to Glenn Beck, and you start to say, wait a second, this is all part of some partisan fray, and why should the government be supporting any of these outlets, and why should good journalists have to be watching over their shoulder, waiting to see if some politician, left wing, right wing, whatever, approves of what they say and what they're doing. I don't think that's a good climate or situation for any journalist to be in, and I think it leads to the kind of compromising situation where NPR's fundraisers are getting into bed with the Muslim Brotherhood. I just think that's an invitation to corruption.
A lot's been made about Obama's quote-unquote Where's Waldo presidency, that he's failed to lead on many issues. Do you think that's a character flaw of Obama, not wanting to lead, wanting to see how everything turns out and then coming out with a position?
You know, this is really interesting because I think Obama is not a Where's Waldo president. I think it's more like he's a sit back and be the wise man president, rather than take the lead and get involved, be an action type of president. He's the kind of person who wants others to debate the issue, maybe even debate it in front of him, and then allow him to be Solomon, to make the wise call in the end. The problem is, I think sometimes people want the President of the United States to offer a vision and then say, gentlemen, here's what we need to get done. You know, let's get all in the boat together and row together to accomplish it. But that's just not his style. So he can be cool and detached. Now, to some, it means that he doesn't get emotional. He's not going to twist arms in the way that you would have expected from some other presidents, some previous occupants of the White House. But it's his style, and we'll see what comes of it. But
do you think it's working for the country?
Yeah, I think for the most part it works. I mean, like, you know, he was harshly criticized on Japan. He was harshly criticized for the slow pace in which he went after Gaddafi. The Libya situation is yet to really fully form. We don't know how that turns out. But I will say I thought it was the right move to try to form an international coalition rather than to simply put more stress on the American military.
Just real quickly, tell us about your upcoming book.
Oh, my upcoming book's called Muzzled. It'll be published by Random House. Hopefully it'll be out in the middle of this year. At the moment, I'm under a lot of pressure to get it done. But this is the story about an essential virtue that was spoken of here tonight at the Bill of Rights Institute's being an American essay contest. And that is freedom of speech. That we are in this country are blessed to have freedom of speech. NPR can fire me, but you know, the government's not going to put me in jail. Thank God for the Constitution. Thank God for the Bill of Rights. You'll see some of that in this book.